Yeah, well, I was born up at actually just out of Horsham. That place was called Glenwood. Dad was Dad was leasing this place for a little while till they got organised with their transfer over to Waterloo Park. So he sold Denila. I'm just not exactly sure. It sold in 1920, and I was born in 1920.
Okay.
And then he went and he leased a property over near Glenwood. Glenwood was about 4 k's out of Horsham.
Right. Sort
On the yeah, on no, on the towards Lubeck way really,
Okay.
just over the river from Longerong Homestead, where the Gregory's lived. You know, the Gregory's.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, I was about 12 months old when I came to live down here.
Okay.
I brought my parents with me down
Did you?
here. Yes. Yes.
So your mum was moving back here.
Yeah. Well, she originally lived here with my aunt Isabel, Tib we used to call her, and they ran this property for about. Oh, my grandfather died in 1914, grandfather Weatherly, and they ran the property here. The two of them ran the property here for about 6 to 8 years before Mum was married and she and Dad came and lived here. And Dad sold Denila. He and Mum had a big discussion over the pros and cons of living. She was one stage thinking about going to live in Denila, but anyway, they decided that Denila was pretty remote in those days, and this is much more centralised and there's a bit more fertile soil too. So this did have a more potential than Denila.
Yeah.
Although Denila would have been lovely to have lived at the old place, but.
And so, what are your earliest recollections of Waterloo Park?
My definite memories, I suppose, be starting school when I started school over Waterloo State School. Remember the first I went to school, a chap called Jim Lowry over there. He said, "Have you ever seen London?" I'd never heard this story, have you? And I said no, and he picked me up by my ears. He said, "That's seeing London." So I don't know what the background of that story was, but anyway, it impressed me very much. So, and then there'd be about 20 children going there at that stage. Quite a few more people lived in the area in those days, of course.
How did you get to school?
Oh, we used to take us over in the buggy in the winter time, and as we grew a bit older, we had our bikes and came over on the bikes, and then another alternative was in the wet weather we'd ride our horses over.
What age were you when you started riding horses?
Oh, we started riding horses when we were about 7 or 8, I suppose. Perhaps even younger than that. I had a little Shetland called Teddy, and Jim had a Shetland called Fluffy. And they used to be good buckers. They'd just pig meat, but they used to stir us up a bit. You'd never know when you had them. You'd be going along to school, and all of a sudden they'd think you were thinking about something else, and they'd turn around and they'd gallop for home. So always a bit of a battle of wits sometimes between them. And we spend we used to we used to jump across the creeks and jump over any logs and things that were about. We'd have contests in that way, and then that was about the time of the Red Indians were rampant over in America, and I do remember some of those Indian stories, and the Indians would be down beside the horses. they'd sort of slide off the saddle and then they'd have the rifle shooting out over the top of the horse. We used to practice doing that as a bit of fun. And well, it was a good. We had a lot of good times. We had a lot of nice dogs, and we had a greyhound called Piowie, and a stag hound called Rufus, and then about 4 sheep dogs and a couple of fox terriers and a whippet. So we had a lot of dogs. We had great fun with our dogs. We all had special names for them, and we'd get the dogs chasing hares, and we'd chase the hares on the horses or foxes, and it was a pretty exciting time. Then we'd go out robbing the bees' hives and all that sort of thing. It was all a lot of good fun in those days.
What was the property then? How was it run in those days? Was it sheep and cropping?
Yes, oh, sheep and cropping. Yes, of course. They just had the horses to run there. Didn't have any tractors.
How many people were there here?
Oh, we had in the house. We had a married couple. The wife would do the cooking, and the husband would do the vegetables and do the milking and get the wood in and all those sort of odd jobs. And then another maid in the house. She'd look after the scullery maid, I suppose you'd call her. And then we had a lady help too. She used to look after Jimmy and me. And then there'd be about 2 or 3 other workmen out on the farm.
And Charlie?
Charlie Heineke, yes, he was. Well, his wife was. He met her when she was cook here. And they were married later on, and they just used to live just out of Marnoo, on a house of their own for quite a long time. Then they came out to live out here in a little house out here.
And that was the place down at the front.
Yeah, up the top gate there.
Okay.
And
how old was he when he died?
81.
And he lived in that house until he died, basically?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Because you remember as kids he'd pick up the coals with his hands.
Yeah.
Remember, and just like
Yes. Yeah. He's a pretty good guy, pretty nice old bloke. He used to sometimes pick us up from school. He'd bring his gig, and he had about 3 dogs too, and he'd pick us up from school. Then we'd go rabbiting all the way home, and took us till dark to get home. And it was a good, free and easy sort of a style. There wasn't the pressure that they've got on now as far as working men are concerned. They just used to be more or less one of the family sort of thing. And they didn't get very good wages, but they didn't work very hard either.
The lifestyle sort of thing.
So that was quite good. And what else?
You were at school, so you were going to school over here?
Yeah, but I went 8 years to school over there.
That was Wallaloo?
Wallaloo, yeah. Then I came back I went down to Brighton Grammar, went to school then there for only 12 months. I was too homesick then. Anyway, Mum and Dad wanted me back on the farm. So anyway, I was back home for about 15, for 2 years I was home, and then I went to Longeron College. And had 2 years there. And
as agricultural college?
Out near Horsham. I did 18 months there. Because I reckon I could get through. It was a 2-year course, but they gave it to me with only doing 18 months. I think somebody had a good talk to the principal and said I was good enough to do it in 18 months. So. But that was a pretty interesting stage of my life too, going to Longeron College. Learnt a lot of things there. All different things, either mixing up with all different people and good, happy lifestyle. But they're all pretty free and easy. But the initiation was a pretty important part of that program there. They used to have they mix up a bit of cow dung and fresh cow dung and sawdust and lots of different other obnoxious things like Sample oil and